We asked some of our employees to share their perspectives on their identity and Hispanic Heritage Month. Stories of Us.
I love to celebrate this month, the Hispanic Heritage Month, because I think it goes beyond just the Hispanic culture and contributions to this country. I believe it's inclusive of all of the Latin culture as well.
We contribute to this country, whether it's immigrants or people who are native born, and we need to recognize, we want to be recognized, like the contributions are supporting a lot of this country.
I often find a lot of people that don't know much about Cubans in general, and just being able to share what it was like to grow up in Cuba, what it was like to grow up in a communist country. It's what it means for me to be Latina, like being able to shed light into that.
Some people would say, well, you don't look very Brazilian. And I was confused, and they would say, well, all the Brazilians I know are very fair. And I'm like, oh, I feel like I have to make an effort to belong, and I am also extracted of my identity of being who I am from the country I come from, because I do not have the color that is similar to this color they identify as Brazilian.
My dad came in 1979, and my mom came in 1981. They were both fleeing El Salvador. At the time, there was kickstarting a civil war that some thought would last 6 months, and then it ended up being 11 years. And they had to learn an entirely new language, right? So they always had very thick accents. And that was, for me, something that a lot of people always called out, or were just sort of like those microaggressions would be directed towards enunciation, language, speech. And I internalized that as a kid. Very early on.
That was a hard decision. Finding happiness and finding your success also meant having to leave your country, your roots, your family, for a different life and start all over again.
Because I did not come from a conventional, traditional background into software engineering, I often find myself covering that part of who I am. I started as an apprentice, but when my manager at the time would introduce me, he would introduce me as an intern, because the term apprentice would bring in a whole bag of awkward questions, right? Like, what school did she come from? What degree does she have?
And I made it a point to sort of overly index in like enunciating correctly, or just trying to be as well-read as possible to sort of not come across as deficient in that perspective.
It's almost like an instant decision that you make in your brain. Like, do I want to get into who I am with this person right now? Because I've had experiences in the past where my work has become about who I am and not what I'm actually doing.
I think it's really important for folks who are upcoming, their first generation professionals, to see someone who looks like them or can sell a story that's similar to them that they can relate to.
I believe in the impact that we can have, bringing this amazing culture, being inclusive of it, and giving it a voice. It's a wonderful moment to take a break and think about the legacy of this amazing group of individuals.
Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month to me means that we can do it.